Good day, fellow peoples. I seem to have returned to YouTube, and if you're curious where I went, why I went, and why the sudden username change, just hang around after the tutorial. I'll give a quick little explanation. So, as far as the tutorial we're doing today, several years ago, I did a goth bun knots tutorial when my hair was about down to my shoulders, and that was like one of my most viewed things, so I thought maybe I could do another one, but this time for long hair. I had chopped off all of my hair when I was about 19. It was very pixie cut short, like the longest part were little spiky things around the face and the rest was just shaved with a guard. And when I was 21, I decided to grow it out. I'm almost 26 now, and this is the result. Hair grows very slowly. So my hair is almost to my hiney, about right here. And I would always just kind of do the knot thing or the twist buns to kind of give you an idea. I'm just gonna like do a really sloppy one really quick.
Oh, that didn't even work.
For the usual buns that I do high pigtails, twist, and then spin it around. But because my hair is long, instead of going outward, the bun goes upward. So it kind of looks like I have giraffe horns, which is fine if that's what you want. But however, I like a little bit more volume, especially since my hair is very flat. So the first thing I did was I brushed my hair. I always split my hair in halves like this and then brush it going from, bottom upward. And then the things that I'm going to need after brushing my hair, I won't need a brush anymore, really, maybe a comb for the bangs, but I don't use a brush. I do not brush my hair into position. And you will also need clips. The type of bun that you want, depending on how big or small it is, you will either use something like this or something more like this. Because my hair is, well, the hair itself is thin, I just have a lot of it, but because of that I tend to use these when doing the twins, but if I'm just doing one, then I'll use the big one. Okay, so we have the clips, and now to get the hair actually on the head, I use scrunchies. I do not use hair ties. I very rarely use hair ties. Like, I got this 2 years ago, and half of them are untouched. Using hair ties on your hair can actually weaken it, especially if you wear them in the same place all the time. The only place I will ever wear those little hair ties is on the bottom when I'm doing like braids. Otherwise, if it's near the top of my head and near my scalp, I use a scrunchie. This will also help to prevent that tension headache you get when your hair is really tight, because it's a lot looser. Not to mention softer, and it comes out easier. It's just in general better for me to use. Okay, so like I said, I do not use a brush for this. I use my fingers. The reason I do this is because I don't want it picture perfect. I want it to look quite messy. And then once I have it up, bring down little bits. Okay, so now I have basically what is essentially a ponytail on top of my head. Move this over there. Take it, wrap it around again, and again. Like I said, it's thin, I just have a lot of it. Then the final time, I'm gonna wrap it, pull it through like I'm about to make another loop with the ponytail. But instead of going all the way through, I'm gonna kind of do like that messy bun that like every chick who goes to college wears when they're late for class, like that. Unfortunately, that style doesn't actually work with my hair anymore. And then I'm going to tighten it. And now you basically got this huge loop. It's kind of fun to play with though. So quickly do the second one.
We're experiencing technical difficulties.
And then go. Now, my friend Allison told me that this is actually a look if I wanted it to be, but for some reason I just can't get behind it. So now I'm going to kind of just do this, and it's going to kind of get little bits of strands of hair out, little locks. Maybe go in a little bit further. So now we basically got this rabbit ear. Just kind of mess it all up. And now, as you can tell, it pretty much goes to my chest now because it's longer. This is where the clips come in.
The clips which I managed to lose in the past 2 minutes that I put my hair up.
The little tail that's underneath that's still in the scrunchie, I put it up with the rest of the hair. And then I hold it up and I put the clip in above the scrunchie. And I lay the top of the hair over like that. So again, lift it up. I just realized this one I did not do as tightly as the other one. But thankfully, with the clip, that actually doesn't matter. One thing I do love about this hairstyle is that it's so comfortable. It doesn't hurt my head and give me a headache. And then lay it over and doo-doo-doo. Now I look like a poodle or a dollar store Mrs. Lovett. Now that we have dollar store Mrs. Lovett going on, there are 2 things you can use for this next step. It really just depends on your style. Personally, I like to use little tiny clips. They kind of look like butterfly clips, only not. And I either use them in dark brown or black, that way you can't really see them. But you can also use bobby pins. Sometimes I use a couple bobby pins if my hair's just not cooperating that day. But the last thing I want to do at the end of the day is go rooting around in my head for bobby pins. There's just too much hair for them to get lost in.
So now that we have this, we're going to take the bun, take the end, and the little strand that you pulled out, and you're going to wrap around like that, and kind of using your hand to keep it squished. Does that make sense? How did I do that? I was not paying attention.
Okay, take 2 because I was too busy talking to focus on what I was doing. Okay, twist at the base. We'll wrap it around. And then wherever the hair is that you're holding, you put the little tiny clip. And then you just kind of spruce it on up and stuff. Kind of looks like a triangle. My hair is cooperating today. It usually doesn't. This is what the back looks like. Kind of looks like a cat ear. So, same with the other twist. Going this way.
This one has decided to not cooperate.
So, in all actuality, this is more what I'm going for. I don't know what the hell happened here, but whenever you get this, you do what I call finessing. You have to finesse your hair. And this is kind of where I use like the combination of bobby pins is to make it so one side matches the other. Finesse. I'm just gonna do whatever the hell feels right now. That looks about right. Actually, I could just use another clip for this. Oop, oop. That was an accident. just play with it. Just floof it. I mean, the whole thing about having messy buns is that they're not perfect. And, I mean, come on, perfect is boring. Sometimes you get these little things that want to come out. Just let them. Who cares? Finessing is my favorite thing to do when it comes to my hair because you can just play with it. I will tell you right now, if you do not take it out in a certain way, it is a nightmare. So the first thing you have to do is, and I'm not going to do it right now because I want to keep my hair like this, but the first thing you have to do is take out the little clips or the bobby pins, whichever one you use. I actually didn't end up needing any bobby pins today. And then you're going to unwrap and kind of smooth out the what I call the dollar store Mrs. Lovett look, you know, the puppy dog ears. Then you're gonna have to pull the rest of the hair that was tucked into the ponytail going up that way. You're gonna pull it out so it's just a full ponytail, brush it out, and then get the scrunchie. It's actually really easy, you know, if you just take your time taking it out, you'll be fine. So there are a couple ways that you can accessorize these. I mean, you can use a scarf, you can use a headband, you can use chains, which I use when I do this, but only in the backside. I'm just gonna go with these because I have like pinky eyeshadow and reddish lipstick. Boom. This is also really useful for me because I do live like in a very, very hot part of the world. It is, you know, pretty often 95 degrees Fahrenheit or above here, especially this time of year, with like 90% humidity. So this helps. It keeps it all up, and if it gets a little frizzy, it just looks like it's meant to be. So that's pretty much it for the tutorial. It was kind of a blah, 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 mistake kind of tutorial, but you get the general idea. The fun part about this kind of hairstyle is that you do get to play with it. You get to make it however you want. Like if you like that little triangle cat ear I ended up with, you can totally go for that. Like, it would be cool. So if you did like that tutorial, please give a like. I would appreciate it. On to the quick update. I'm gonna try and ramble through this as fast as I can because nobody really likes super long updates that take 15 minutes to explain. I always end up moving to the next video. The first quick update is the username change. I used to go by Zombrebat. However, I actually did somehow get recognized a couple times in public for being who I was, either on YouTube or Instagram, and they would never remember my name. You know, they would say, you look exactly like this girl on YouTube or this girl on Instagram that I know and I follow and I like. And, you know, it's something I've heard before, and I was like, no, you know, it's Black Friday, toxic tears, and they're like, no, and I'm like, oh, good, well then at least this person doesn't think all goths look the same. So I finally say, Zombrebat? Yeah, that's the one. I couldn't remember how to say it or how to spell it. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. So I changed to Cthuletta, which has been my game tag for years, just for ease. I mean, think of Cthulhu, make it feminine. Cthuletta. The second update is where I've been. You know, to put it very shortly, it's been to work on my mental health. I went into quite a decline, especially over the course of last year. And starting this year, I've made a lot of changes. You know, changes with my medicine, with things I'm doing with my doctor. I've been working on what is called desensitization therapy, which is kind of getting me used to situations that make me anxious. And on top of that, I've started to become a morning person, which I may make an actual video on how to do that because that was hard and I had to figure it out by myself. Rampant insomniac, natural night owl, and now I'm the early bird who gets the worm. I don't like worms. That's all I can really think of right now as far as updates go. I mean, yeah, that's been my life. It's been quite a few years, and if you subscribe to me, like, it was like 2 or 3 years ago was the last time I think I put a video out. Then hopefully you're happy to see my face again. So if you could give a like, a comment, give a subscribe if you're not subscribed already, then I would appreciate it. And I hope to get back into this, and especially with like new ideas and a more positive attitude. I've also been playing with makeup like crazy because I've been trying to figure out how to work with my face. My face. It's definitely a face, but it's not an easy face to work with, I've found out recently. Anyway, be awesome, be you, and I'll see you next time. This is Bram Stoker, who has hay in his eye. Oh, you're poor baby. And he says to subscribe, please. This is Howard Phillips, or HP for short, named after H.P. Lovecraft, and he also says to subscribe, please. But he also says to like and comment because, you know, he's a little bit older, so he knows.